All right, everybody, let's talk about ANSI, appraisers, and the MLS. Guys, we all know now that appraisers are being required to follow the ANSI measurement standard for anything they do through Fannie Mae. Well, the point of that is, do you really think appraisers are going to use ANSI only for Fannie Mae assignments, and they're going to ask everybody, oh, is this going through Fannie Mae, or, what else can it be? Is it VA, HUD, what is it? Well, chances are appraisers being required by Fannie Mae, which buys the bulk of mortgages, if they are requiring them to use ANSI, well, appraisers are going to use ANSI to measure everything. And that's actually a good thing. We ought to be happy about that. So when that happens, though, how's that going to affect everybody else? Well, it's obviously going to affect, agents and mortgage lending. ANSI is going to be on your buyer's loans. When they order an appraisal, it's going to be measured per the ANSI standard. Does that change the value? Absolutely not, guys. ANSI has nothing to do with value. ANSI is a method of comparing spaces, that's all. It doesn't affect the value one way or the other. Whether you call it above grade, below grade, whatever it is, ANSI doesn't change the value. Now, for the last few years, we've talked a lot about appraisal quality. Everybody wants better appraisal quality. Well, how do we get that? Better appraisal quality requires better data. And where does that data come from? It comes from the MLS. And remember, MLS is absolutely the voice of real estate, guys. The MLS is, quote, the most trusted source of real estate information in the world. So if appraisers, if every mortgage lenders, agents, appraisers, everybody wants better appraisals, we got to have better data. And that starts for everyone in the real estate industry to get on the same page. Guys, it's 2022, and I can't believe that the real estate industry has not mandated a measurement standard before now. This is the most expensive item that people purchase. Every item inside of that house, whether it be the windows, the doors, the flooring, electrical, plumbing, everything in that house is measured by a national or an international measurement standard for that matter. But you put all these pieces together and create a house, and we have no measurement standard. Well, it's time for the real estate industry to join the rest of the standardized world. And what's that mean? That means the MLS needs to require ANSI in the MLS. It's really, I don't know how I can say it more simple than that. ANSI belongs in the MLS. Every listing that goes through the MLS should be measured by the ANSI standard. Then you've got appraisers using ANSI, you've got agents using ANSI. Guys, the tax department has nothing to do with the real estate information system. This should be the information of the real estate professionals. And do I think a realtor should ever measure a house? Absolutely not. Guys, realtors have so many things to be responsible for. Why add square footage to that mix? You don't need something else to be liable for. But get somebody else to measure it. Just because I don't think you should measure it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be responsible for the quality of that information. The fact is, we live in a price per square foot world. You go through listing files, everything's got a price per square foot number, and if we're going to use that, that's fine. But the information needs to be accurate, and it needs to be consistent. We all need to use the same information. So hire an appraiser, hire a home measurement specialist, get another agent that has learned about home measurement, get somebody else to measure the house. Fill out a disclosure form, guys. The book, Measuring ANSI, or Measuring Square Footage with ANSI 2021, you can get it on Amazon. In the back of that book, there's a disclosure form. If you're going to report a square footage number, use a disclosure form. Realtors have a disclosure form for everything. Why wouldn't you have a disclosure form that all the parties have signed, and then there's no questions about square footage after the fact, and the realtor is not liable for that information? But we have one real estate industry. We all need to get together and be on the same page, using the same language of real estate. We need one industry measurement standard. ANSI is the name everybody knows and trusts. If you ask 100 people on the street, what is the ANSI measurement standard? They know what that means. They know what price per square foot is. You know, these are names that people trust. In the real estate industry, we can all use a little more trust in this industry. MLS, I invite you to please adopt the ANSI measurement standard. Let's get agents and appraisers on the same page and using the same measurement standard. Then we're going to have better quality appraisals. We're going to have better CMAs. We're going to have better consumer protection. That's what, at the bottom line, we need better consumer protection. ANSI gives us a path to get to that. Guys, please look at ANSI, give it a chance, and let's bring the real estate industry together with one language of square footage. Thanks for watching.